how to write a great resume. If you're in the market for a new job, the quality of your resume can make all the difference. With careful planning and proper formatting, you can write a great resume that just may land you the job that you want. Hey there, my name is Lynn George, also known as the Chief Meaningful Work Officer. And since 2003, I have worked in workforce development, and that's a branch in human resources. And also, I have worked with individuals on all career levels across many different industries. I'm also certified as a certified Master Career Services Practitioner by the National Development of Career Association. In addition to that, I've held my PHR for the last 11 years. So now that we got that out of the way, let me just say this. Everything you want is on the other side of your fear. And the reason I wanted to start with this quote is because I'm going to challenge you to come out of your comfort zone. I'm going to challenge you to leave your comfort zone so that you can write your own resume. I know, you're probably thinking, how in the world am I going to do that? Well, at the end of this webinar, I'm going to share some information with you about my resume writing course, where I teach you everything you need to know about resume writing so that you can write your own resume to land the job that you want. Now, this is what we'll cover in our resume writing course: the purpose of a resume, planning and formatting your resume. I'm going to highlight or touch on some types of resumes that you may come across, and you'll see or determine which one fits you the best. And then I'll share some other helpful tips to help you write your own resume. So let's talk about the purpose of a resume. The sole purpose of a resume is to land the interview. I just want you to think on that for a moment. The sole purpose of a resume is for you to land the interview. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. Does my resume describe roles I've held, or does it showcase the impact I've had on the roles that I've held? One tells, the other shows. So there are different types of resumes that are out there. We talked about the purpose of a resume, and so I want to share with you the different types of resume. So the first type of resume that we'll just discuss briefly here is the chronological resume. This is the most popular format that's out there right now. And that has been out there for the last 10, 15, 20 years. It's the chronological resume. Its emphasis is on time, starting with your very last job and then working your way down. Now, chronological resumes should not be no more than between 10 and 12 years. The next type of resume is functional. Now, the functional resume, its emphasis is on more of your skills. So if you have leadership skills and you want to, highlight that, but your work experience may not be there, like you may have only a year experience. A lot of times, back in the day, that's when functional resumes were used. Now, this is not a popular format, but I've seen a hybrid of a resume, which is the combination of chronological and functional, where you can have a lot of experience as a leader, right? And you want to highlight the impact that you've made in different areas or for different jobs. So your focus is on the impact you have made and less on the jobs that you've been with or the companies that you've been with. But even though the emphasis is less on, the roles you've held, it's still, the hybrid resume will still lay out the chronology of your timing and where you've been, if that makes sense. Next, we'll have curriculum vitae. Vitae. This is more in the academia world. So if you're coming from the university level, then you will know what this is, because as I've stated before, a lot of people in academia have these types of resumes. And then last but not least is portfolio, which is just a collection of your work. Now, the first thing I want to share about your resume is that the whole idea is for you to be brief, for you to be concise about the impact that you have made on the jobs or the roles that you've held. Your goal is to get your point across quickly and effectively. So in other words, do not fill your resume with fluff, because chances are, and here are the chances, and these chances are great. Chances are your potential employer do not have a lot of time to read every detail. So stick with the meat. Many resumes only get 8 to 12 seconds. Remember that, 8 to 12 seconds. Therefore, it's important, in order for you to be brief, you need now then to be targeting your resume. Now, this is where I get a lot of pushback from job seekers or career changers. They don't want to target their resume or tailor their resume to the job that they want. Instead, they want to be broad, because the belief is, I'm leaving the doors open for other opportunities. Okay. But it's more effective to tailor your resume to the job that you're applying for. That's why one resume is not good for, spraying your resume for all the jobs you're applying for is not effective. It's not an effective strategy. Make sure that your resume and cover letter reflect your interest in the job that you want. That's how you target. Okay, this means you'll want to read the job posting for the relevant job information. I don't know how much more I can emphasize this. It's important that you read and reread the job posting for the job that you're applying for relevant information, because you're going to use this information to tailor your resume, your job experience. Okay. The other point I want to bring out is job experience before education. I get a lot of questions from job seekers. Should I put my education first, or should I put my job experience first? Job experience should go first, because 95% of employers are concerned with the experience that you bring to the table. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule about this, and I go more into detail about that in my resume writing course. But your job experience should be first. Again, if you're one exception is if you are a newly college graduate with not a lot of job experience, and you want to highlight your education, then by all means put your education, but you want to make sure you find some relevant experience, whether it be through volunteering or work study. You want to highlight those experiences. It's very important. The other piece of tips that I want to share with you is starting your resume with action verbs. And the reason I want to bring this out, as you can see here on the screen, I put in there an example. So an example would be using a sentence that starts with managed or coach instead of starting a description with I was a manager of a sales team. I see this a lot when I used to write resumes for as a standalone service. I would see this all the time. So I wanted to bring this out as a tip so that you will know that when you are writing your resume, you want to start with action verbs when you're writing your bullet points. Keywords. This is especially important because employers may be searching for your resume online by querying these specific words. So include keywords. And this is why, going back to reading the job post, this is why reading the job post is important. Understanding what those keywords are associated with the position you're seeking so that you can tailor your resume to include the job title you want, as well as those keywords associated with that job function. The other tip is don't worry about getting fancy. Colored paper, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. There's no need to provide intricate designs or colored textured paper. It's recommended that you stick to white paper. You'll stand out to your employer because of the fantastic skills listed on that paper, not because of the quality paper itself or the unique font you picked. Okay, so just remember that. Now, as promised, I also have at the top right, I believe, a click to enroll button for my resume writing course. And here is the link for that as well. Thank you so much for attending my webinar for writing your own resume. I'll see you on the other side.